Hello and welcome to another Wednesday on The Den. My name is Aaron and I'm coming to you from Manchester in England. This week on The Den we are talking about Gaybies. And what is a Gaybie? Now what I'm meaning by Gaybies are people who are yet to come out, people who are coming to terms with their sexuality, or people who are newly out on the scene. But then also some of this can be applied to people who are young gays who aren't able to go out on the scene because of their age as well. Now this video is not really meant to be me lecturing you, telling you how to live your life, what to do, what not to do, the mistakes that have happened. But this video is meant to share some thoughts and ideas and some experiences that I've gone through and some of the mistakes that I've made. Just hopefully to basically say, you know, A, it's okay to make mistakes, and B, you know, none of us are perfect. None of us get it right the first time. So don't worry and don't stress. Now there's a few things that all of us will want to do when we are starting to come to terms with our sexuality and who we are. We want to go out. We potentially want to get drunk. You might want to have sex. You might want to have a boyfriend. And you might want to show your identity a little bit more. So going out is obviously great fun, you get to meet lots of new people, you go to different places, you get to experience lots of different things, and that's great and that's exciting, but you need to do it in a safe way. And I know that sounds obvious, but just because the rest of your friends are doing something, it doesn't mean that you have to as well. Just because everyone's going to a certain place, going to a certain nightclub, doing a certain thing, it doesn't mean that you have to as well. If you're not comfortable going there or doing that thing, don't do it. I'm all for pushing yourself outside of your comfort zones and trying new things, but you should only do that in your own time and when you're ready. Now, along with going out and going to events and dancing and God knows whatever else, you normally have things like drinking, and for other people you have extracurricular partaking of substances. But I'm just going to stick with drinking for this one because me personally, I've never done any drugs. And that's personal preference because it's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I believe in, and it's not something that I will ever be comfortable with doing myself. Other people can do it, but it's not for me. So thank you, but no thanks. Now drinking, however, is something that I do. But what annoys me about drinking is the amount of people that go out there and they say that they have to drink to have a good night. They have to drink to be able to get up and dance. They have to drink to be able to go and talk to someone at the other end of the room. They have to drink to get out of their shell and feel relaxed. Now, you know, having a couple of drinks to sort of like ease you into the mood, you know, that's one thing, but absolutely getting slammed arse bastarding drunk so that you can't remember it the next day, I don't see the point in that. First of all, very expensive, especially with me, who it actually takes quite a while to get drunk, and so far, touch wood, I've never had a hangover in my life. But also, what's the point in having an amazing night out with your friends and then not remembering it the following day? I've had some of my best nights out stone cold sober, not having a drink at all night long, because really it's about the people that you're with, not the amount of alcohol that you have drunk. And I know that there are people out there that will disagree with me, but you do not have to drink to have a good time. And I know plenty of people who are completely teetotal and go out regularly, and you know, it's about going out and having fun with their friends. Now, I'm not saying don't drink at all, but I am saying don't place such a high importance on it, especially for you guys that aren't currently able to drink because of your age. Yes, we know you've probably had a beer, a glass of wine, a vodka or something at home, but I know the drinking ages are different as well between the UK and the States, because in the UK, 18 you can go out drinking and stuff. In the States, it can be 21. So it means that sometimes you feel left out because you can't go to events, you can't go out drinking because of your age, because you're not old enough yet. So you place this high importance on your age and being able to drink because it looks like the hollowed ground. It looks like there's this amazing thing that you're going to be able to do when you're 21, and you get really upset because you can't do it right now. But to be honest, what you've got that other people don't have is that you can actually build relationships with people that aren't dependent on alcohol. Because I have too many friends who only go out and only come and see you or socialise with you if it involves alcohol and involves a pint, and the whole socialising with them, you have to go out to the pub and you have to go out to drink. You're lucky because at this point, before you're old enough to drink and engage in these events, you can actually build relationships with people, based on food and cinema and personal interests and going around to each other's houses and playing board games or just going out for a walk or socialising. It doesn't have to all be based around alcohol. And actually, you're probably going to get a better relationship out of people because of that, because it's not just based on the beer goggles which people put on, because people who are constantly drunk are not the person that they are when they're sober all the time. Yes, there are some exceptions, but you know, you're actually going to get to know the people who are actually there, because they're not getting drunk and off their face on shit. So you're quite lucky in a lot of ways. Obviously, when you're becoming comfortable with your sexuality, one of the first things you'll think about is, oh, I want a boyfriend, potentially. You know, unless you're one of those people who just wants to go and play the field and have lots of fun. A lot of people will identify with wanting to settle down and wanting to have a boyfriend, and this might be because of the whole general constructs of our culture and our upbringing, that you have to have a boyfriend, you have to have a girlfriend, you have to be in a relationship with someone. I mean, we have parents, they are two people together that made you, so it's normal and automatic for us to think we want companionship. It's quite human, it's quite natural. But the other thing is, when you go to your parents and you say, I'm gay, it might feel easier to go with someone that is supporting you and holding your hand. So it's quite normal to want to have a boyfriend, especially in such a pivotal moment in your life when you are coming out. But the problem that I've seen, the problem that I've gone through, is that a lot of people are then really quick to basically go, you're the first person that I've ever told that I'm gay to, you're the first person I've ever done anything with, and therefore you're now my boyfriend and I love you. Don't just settle on the first person that you find. Yes, there is such a thing as love at first sight, but don't just give up the world for the first person that you find. Get to know people, go on dates, build relationships, and don't just think, fuck, I need a boyfriend. You'll do. Because ultimately that relationship will probably break down. And yes, you will learn a lot from it. But you know, if you just spent a little bit more time, you could have got to know other people, make a whole load of friends, and potentially find out a lot more about yourself and what you're into and what you're interested in. Because I know for me personally, in terms of my sex life and what I like and what I don't like, you know, I didn't really come into my own and really get to understand what I was into until after a few people. Being new to it all, I was just happy to be trying to make someone else happy. You know, I wasn't really concerned about me. I was just like, I'm gay, I need to prove to myself that I am. It's hard to explain, but when I first actually met someone, you know, the biggest thing for me was, I need to have sex with this person because I need to actually prove to myself if I am or if I'm not. And I don't really know what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's quite normal for you to go, I need to have sex. A, because it's quite a natural thing to want to lose your virginity. B, you're attracted to someone and you're probably either going through puberty or at the end of puberty and you're sexually frustrated and you're just like, I want another person to touch me. But once again, like with the boyfriend thing, it doesn't mean that you should just sleep with the first person that you found. And hands up, I regret the first person that I ever had sex with. And if you're out there, sorry, I can't remember what your name is. I can kind of remember what we did, but I really wish that we hadn't done. And that's nothing against you, it's just that I wasn't doing it for any other reason than I thought that I had to, and I needed to. Because I needed to find out if I was or if I wasn't gay. Lastly, one of the big things that a lot of people do, and especially within the bears, is that they'll want to really make sure that they identify and go, "Ha!" Now, this is all very well and good, being proud of who you are, being proud of your sexuality, etc, 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 but don't just shove it down people's throats. Remember, it's not just an adjustment for you, it's an adjustment for the people around you who have always thought of you as being something else. You know, it's fine, it's natural, and they will accept you, but give people time. I'm all for putting pride on everything and having rainbow flags and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people, when they first come out, will do things like get a tattoo. And ultimately, a lot of times when people get their first tattoo, and especially in the bear community, they go for predictable things. So things like in the bears, you will get bear paws on a hell of a lot of people. And I'm not shaming this, because when, if, maybe I actually get a tattoo, it potentially will be something with a bear paw, and it will be some sort of tribal design, because that's actually what I like. But it's taken me time to realise that is what I like. Whereas other people kind of look back and go, why did I get this? Because these are 10 to the dozen and everyone's got one, and it's not actually that individual or, you know, unique. I've got a bear paw on my chest, and so do 20 other guys that I go out with. So just, if you're thinking of getting an impulse tattoo once you've come out to kind of identify who you are, whatever else, maybe just sleep on it a little bit and have a think. Don't just rush into it blind and think, I have to get this because I'm gay, so I need to show that I'm gay by having a tattoo and then showing everyone my tattoo. And don't do what I did and basically every time that I went into a new store or met a new person, somehow try and work in that I'm gay into the first 30 seconds of the conversation. I never even realised that I used to do this, but actually I did it quite a lot, especially when I was covering in other restaurants. Somehow I felt like I needed people to know that I was gay, and I'd have to work it into a conversation straight away. You know what? Just be you. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, whatever. Just be you. You don't have to announce it to the world. But I kind of felt at that point in my life I needed to. Because I needed to be used to my identity and have other people around me accept my identity. But you know what? If people don't accept your identity, then fuck them. Find someone else who will. Yes, when a lot of people come out, they realise that they're gay, or they're getting used to the concept of, oh, this might be my sexuality, or they just have come out. You know, it's normal for people to want to go out and get drunk, to have a boyfriend, have sex, and, you know, identify and show their identity to the world. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all in the slightest. The thing that we've got to remember as gay people is a lot of our friends and people that we grew up with were actually doing that between the ages of 12 and 16. They were doing it in their teens when they were in high school. They were going and sleeping with their second cousin twice removed. They were losing their virginity. They were getting drunk off of the vodka that was in Dad's liquor cabinet. They were sneaking into clubs. They were getting fake IDs, God knows whatever else. A lot of the times as gay men, we were the guys that were sat in school doing our homework and trying to keep ourselves to ourselves because we didn't want people to realise that we were different. So a lot of the times when we are going through our coming out phase, it's later in life. It's in our 18 to 20s or even later. And so a lot of the time we feel like we need to play catch up. And I know that I definitely felt that. At the age of 16, 17, I was starting to think, most of my friends have lost their virginity now. And yes, they're straight, but you know, I had it in my head that I wanted to have sex by a certain age. I wanted to have tried certain things by a certain age because otherwise I would be classed as strange and weird and different. But you know what? It doesn't matter what age you first do anything or try anything with anyone. Do it when it's right for you. Don't rush into something because you think that this is the social norm, because you'll end up regretting things, like I did. But at the same time, I've learnt a lot from those mistakes, from those regrets. And that's what's built up my personality and what I am like today. What I'm saying is, it's okay to make mistakes. If you make a mistake though, learn from it, and don't preach to the choir about how you know best, because that is commonly what 16 to 22-year-olds do. They think that they've got all this life experience, and I did it. I know plenty of people out of my friends that have done it, and they sit having arguments about world philosophy and how they know everything and blah 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 blah. In a few years' time, you're going to realise that that person that was stood up having an argument about God knows what, yeah, there were more important things to worry about. And actually, you know, you should have potentially listened to some of the other people around you, and potentially some of the older people and the older friends that are with you. It's very easy to just live inside of your own bubble and think that you're always right. Just open up your ears a few times, you know, listen to what other people are saying. You don't have to do what they're saying, you don't have to fully agree, but take it on board. After all, if these are people that you call friends, that you trust and that you hang out with, if they're giving you an opinion, it's because they care about you and they want to look after you. Take it with that intention. Anyway, so I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. If anyone's out there and you're struggling with coming to terms with who or what you are, then, you know, feel free to drop us a message, make a comment down below, and hopefully, you know, let's start a bit of a conversation and support each other through what can be a really difficult time for some people. I know it wasn't easy for me. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up in terms of people that I went out with after school. All my friends were in school, and that was the only place that I ever saw them. I didn't really see them outside of school. I didn't go out to nightclubs. I didn't really do this whole socialising thing. Definitely didn't lose my virginity until later on in my life. And so for me, when I started to go out at the age of 18 and everyone else had already been going out for years, it was really alien and strange for me. Don't think you're the only person that is going through these changes or through situations, because there'll always be someone out there who can sympathise, has gone through something similar or has gone through something exactly the same. It's okay to reach out and talk to people. Don't suffer alone. And don't think that your concerns are stupid. If you need help, if you need support, if you just need someone to talk to or someone to listen to, there's always going to be someone here for you. Have an awesome rest of your week, guys, and I will see you next Wednesday. See you later. Bye bye. Bye.